Welcome to the Toyota Solutions Studio. I'm so pleased to have one of the giants of the Women in the World Summit with us now, Arianna Huffington. I don't think your career even needs an introduction, but of course you were the co-founder of the Huffington Post, which really altered the news media landscape. You have now founded a new company called Thrive Global, and I want to get into everything you're doing at Thrive Global. But first, let's ask the obvious question, the glass ceiling question. You made it to the top. Is your career, your life, evidence that there is no glass ceiling that still needs to be burst through?
Well, there obviously is a glass ceiling. We see it everywhere. But what I'm arguing is that it's not enough for women to want to break through glass ceilings. We also need to change the world of work, because the way it has been designed by men is not working. You know, it is fueled by stress and burnout and the expectation that you have to be always on and work 24/7. And these are not sustainable. And women are paying an even heavier price than men. You know, women in stressful jobs have a 40% greater risk of heart disease.
Wow.
And a 60% greater risk of diabetes.
Why is that? Is that because they have family pressures as well, home pressures?
That is one reason, but the other is that women tend to internalize stress more. We tend to be more perfectionist, unfortunately. We have what I call the obnoxious roommate living in our head, you know, the voice of self-doubt, of judgments.
Oh, I know her well.
You know, I know her well too, we all do. And that is even more draining than anything happening outside. So we need to change that. But we also need to change workplaces. We need to change expectations. We need to give ourselves and others permission to be able to unplug and recharge and have a real life and not expect us to be always on and assume that this is the only way to succeed, because it's a completely false assumption.
Is it? Did you, while you were rising through the ranks of companies, did you give yourself time to have balance and breathing room?
I did everything wrong.
But you made it to the top.
No, but yes, I think a lot of people make it to the top doing everything wrong, despite the fact that we are doing everything wrong, not because of it. Actually, today is the 10th anniversary of my wake-up call. On April 6, 2007, I collapsed from exhaustion, burnout, and sleep deprivation, broke my cheekbone on the way down, and that was the beginning of my reevaluating how I was leading my life, looking at all the latest science that makes it clear that when we take care of ourselves, we are more productive and more effective. And I can promise you one thing, I've been much more productive and effective now that I make it a priority to get 8 hours sleep, to regularly unplug and recharge, not to be always on my phone. I find I'm more creative, I'm full of better ideas, and I'm more able to deal with the daily challenges we all have to face.
So you are still running a company, though, and it's a brand new company, which means you must be working really hard. Talk about how important it is as you build up Thrive Global, how important it is to build in that culture, allowing the women that work at your company, the men that work at your company, to again have more of that sense of wellness, of productivity. How do you do that? How do you build that?
You're absolutely right. You have to build it into the culture. And that doesn't mean not working hard. You know, what we want is people who love their work and work hard. The question is, are you working smart? Because working around the clock is not working hard, it's working stupid. Because you are simply not as effective.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we all know that. You're running on empty, you're making bad decisions. We have the data to prove that. You are more likely to get sick and actually not go to work at all.
So how do you know how to work smart? If you're a young woman starting at a new company, how do you work smart? How do you know where to put your energy?
Yes, well, a good day starts the night before with our relationship with sleep. I've written a whole book about it, The Sleep Revolution. Sleep is not optional. Unless you have a genetic mutation, and 1.5% of the population does, and you can get away with 4 hours sleep.
Those super sleepers, I envy them so much.
There are only few of us, though. The majority of us need 7 to 9 hours sleep. So prioritizing that means ruthlessly prioritizing how you spend the rest of your day. And for me, it starts with our relationship with technology. That's now the huge time suck. You know, we are all addicted to our devices to some extent or other. And so we need to set boundaries. At thriveglobal.com, you know, my new media platform, we have every day the latest science around our addiction to technology and micro steps to help us hold a mirror to ourselves that tracks our consumption of social media.
Yeah.
And helps us set boundaries. Like, most people don't even know how much time they spent on Facebook or Snap or Instagram. When they see that amount of time, it's just alarming.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to set some boundaries.
Talk about sort of what your daily routine is like. Do you set aside time specifically, intentionally for relaxation?
You know, what is interesting is that it doesn't take a lot of time. You know, it just takes sometimes a minute to focus on your breath, to take some deep conscious inhales and exhales, and then move on with your day. Or to take a walking break, or a walking meeting. We love doing a lot of walking meetings when it's not raining.
Oh, that's nice.
Or have a healthy snack. You know, it's not really the amount of time, it's the consciousness. Instead of allowing the stress of the day to build on itself and become cumulative.
So your mission at Thrive Global is to try to change
The
workplaces.
way, yes, and individual lives. Our mission is to change the way we work and live, to both do it by changing workplaces, but also by changing the way we live our lives and what we prioritize. And we do it both by going into companies and helping them create thriving cultures through trainings, e-courses, creating support groups, and also by creating this media platform that brings together the latest science and new role models who are in the arena but are doing it differently.
Who were some of your role models?
So let me mention a couple who just recently wrote on thriveglobal.com. Jeff Bezos wrote a piece, and I love the title, Why My Getting 8 Hours of Sleep is Good for Amazon Shareholders. So he made the connection between being fully recharged and making good decisions, which is, after all, at the heart of leadership. Yeah. Or Selena Gomez, who wrote about the importance of taking a digital detox, which again is something we all need to integrate in our lives. So by looking at people who are universally seen as successful and realizing that they're actually leading their lives differently than our culture assumes, we begin to change the culture.
Such a wisdom in all of what you're saying, a wisdom that I'm sure came with time and experience. Arianna Huffington, thank you so much for joining us in the Toyota Solutions studio. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Good luck with Thrive Global.
Thank you.